Am I audible now? Am I audible now? Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anil, for telling me. So what I said was that in the previous session, we completed two parts of this exercise and we'll be continuing with part 3 and part 4 today, okay? We'll be continuing this exercise and completing it by today itself. So I hope you have this sheet with you, the sheet we made in the last session. I hope you all have with you. So in the previous sheet, it looked something like this. We made a table, okay? We entered all the expenses and then we had this another table which is the snapshot of week's budget. Okay, this was in exercise 1, the sheet named exercise 1. In exercise 2, we made this table. I don't think we'll do much with this today. We'll mostly be working with this. Okay, so here we'll continue with this. We'll start filling it up. So today we'll start with part 3, that is data entry. Okay, so exercise 6, that is dummy data entry. All right, so enter data expense. Please fill the expense amount for all the expenses for the week. Make sure each expense has at least one entry in the week. This is dummy data. Okay, so we fill expenses, made up expenses. Okay, you don't have to take real amounts, or you don't have to even like take amounts that are real time for you. Just take some random expenses and fill this whole table. Okay, the cell in which the total needs to be calculated should not be filled manually. We will use formulas to total the expenses to fill these cells. Okay, so this cell, the total weekly expenses, we don't have to, or the total daily, okay, the total weekly expenses, you don't have to fill it manually, but we'll fill it with a formula. All right, we learned how to use some formula last week, so we'll use it today. For example, don't fill cell B4, B5 as they will be calculated using some formula in the below steps. Okay, I don't think it's B4, B5. I think it'll be okay, okay, okay. We don't have to fill the row B4 and B5. Okay, okay, nice. So let's start filling the data. Okay, like suppose for the event tickets, I spent rupees 300 the first week. I do not attend an event every day of the week. So like suppose I attended an event in the first day of the week, that is Sunday, and on Thursday I spent 500. Okay, let's keep it to 0. Okay, then party, I do not party on Monday. Nobody parties on Monday since that's the first day of the week. So you have to go to work or school or whatever you're doing. So suppose I went to a party on Tuesday. Okay. Oh, actually we party on Sunday. I missed it. Okay. So let's see. I spent around 500 on party. Okay. Then I do not party on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday is the start of the weekend. So let's keep it to 750 for that day. Okay. And for Saturday also we went partying since that's the weekend. So let's keep it to 700. Okay. Then we had a restaurant. So fill the number as 200 for Sunday. Monday it's 0. Tuesday it's 0. Wednesday we suppose we spent 400. Then Thursday it's 0. Friday it's 0. Saturday let's suppose we spent around 600. Okay. So we filled that. Now for the metro, like suppose we use metro for daily conveyance. So we spend rupees 30 every day on metro. Okay, so suppose you don't want to manually fill 30 in every cell of the table. What we do is that we select these both, or you can just select this, hover your cursor over this blue circle, and then once you see the plus sign, you click on it, then drag it to the last cell, and we have the data entered automatically. Okay, so we can do this. So cab I did not use the first day, I did not use it on the second day, I did not use it on the third day. Suppose on the fourth day I used it, I took a cab and I spent 150 for the cab fare. Okay, I did not use it on Thursday, not on Friday. Then on Saturday I took a cab for 200. Okay, then the bus, let's use our bus conveyance. I spent 50 rupees on the first day, no on the second, not on the third. Then on Thursday, I again spent 50 rupees, and then 0, 0. Okay. Auto. Okay, then the first day we did not spend anything. On Monday, we spent rupees 40 on auto, and then 0, 0, 0. We spent rupees 40 again on Friday, and 0. Okay. For petrol, since I'm using all these conveyance in all these days, let's keep our petrol cost to 0, and I think we'll need it on Tuesday. So suppose we spend rupees 100 for petrol, okay? 0, 0, 0. Okay. Then other expenses, like suppose I spent rupees 60 on some other form of conveyance, rupees 50 on the next day, 0, 0. And then I again spent 10 rupees for some fare or something, 30 on this day and 20 on this day. Okay. Then academic expenses, like suppose I bought some books. Nobody buys books on Sunday since it's the party day. Suppose I bought a book on Monday. Okay. So I bought it for rupees 450. Okay. Then I read it for 3 days. I bought another book for rupees 500 on Friday. Okay. So again. Okay. Now fees. Okay. Like suppose you have to pay some fees for something. Let's keep it to 300 on Sunday. 0, 0, 0. Then I again spent rupees 200 on something. Okay. Then laptop. Okay. Let's buy a laptop on Monday for I think 50,000. Yeah, that's good. That's a good laptop. I think I'll get a pretty decent laptop for 50K. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Then for a mobile, suppose I spent on a mobile and I spent about 40,000 getting a good phone. Then I spent 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, you're good. Suppose I paid my rent on Sunday, so my rent comes to about 10. This is not my actual expenses, okay? So I spent 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Good. So I went grocery shopping on Sunday. Okay, I did a lot of things on Sunday. So suppose I spent 500 for grocery shopping. That's it. I think people need grocery in the middle of the week, so I spent 300 again in the middle of the week. 0, 0. Okay. Then for fruits, I again spent on Sunday rupees 100 on fruits. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. We have filled all the data that we needed in the table. Now what we do? Okay, some formula to calculate the sum of total expenses. In this step, we will calculate the total expenses for all the different expense categories like entertainment, travel, etc. for every day. Okay, for this, we will add all the expenses in a given category for a particular day in the cell associated with the total expense for the category on a particular day of the week. Okay, so here we also have an example. Let's see. For example, to calculate the total entertainment expenses of 2nd October, we use formula sum B6 to B8 in cell B5. Okay. Repeat this process for each day of the week. Okay. So to calculate the total entertainment expenses of 2nd October, 2nd October is Sunday, we click on cell B5 and we use the sum formula. Okay, so that is equal to sum open bracket. Then we take the sum of these three events, that is event tickets, parties, restaurants. We click on the first cell that we want to add and drag it till the last cell that we want to add. Then we close our bracket. We have the sum formula ready. We press enter and it's automatically calculated. Okay, you don't have to manually calculate it or take the sum of it. It's just manually calculated. Okay, so now we do this for every cell, or we can also do the dragging thing so that it automatically the formula gets copy pasted to all the cells that you want. Okay, so what we do is that we hover our cursor over the blue circle until we get this plus sign. When we get the plus sign, we click on it and then drag it to the last cell. Okay, so here we have the sum formula on all the cells that we wanted. Okay, so yeah. Alternatively, you can drag the total entertainment expenses obtained in cell B5 in the above process to cells to the right till cell H5, which will copy the formula in those cells and calculate total entertainment expenses for each day of the week. Okay, the above process should be repeated for all the expense categories in the table. Okay, so we do this for all the expense categories. Like suppose if you want to calculate total travel expenses, okay, so we put the sum formula here. We type is equal to sum. We open the bracket. We click on the first cell that we want to add and then drag it till the last cell that we want to add. We close the bracket. Okay, then we press enter. We have the sum with us. Then we hover our cursor over this blue circle and we do it until we get the plus sign. Then we click on it and drag it till the last cell that we want the formula in, and the formula is copy pasted. Okay, then we repeat it in total academic expenses as well. We click is equal to sum, open the bracket, click on the first cell that we want to add, drag it to the last cell, then close the bracket and then press enter. Okay, we hover our cursor over this blue circle and we see this plus sign. We click on it, drag it till the last cell that we want the formula to be copied in. We repeat the same process for the total spent on assets too. Sum, open bracket, then close the bracket, drag it till the cell you want to add, then press enter and then hover our cursor over this blue circle, click on the plus sign, drag it till the last cell. Here we have the sum. Our last total expense, we do the same. I hope you guys can do this by your own selves by now. Okay, so we already have it. Okay, some formula shortcut key. This is the shortcut. Okay, so let's see if we get any other shortcuts in the coming sessions, but till now this is the shortcut that we're using. Okay, so let's stick to this. Let's clear our basics and then move forward. So step 2, some formula to calculate the total of daily expenses. Oh, we have already done it. Okay, or have we not? Oh, we have not. Okay. Go to the total daily expenses column and use the sum formula to calculate the total daily expenses planned for each day of the week. For example, to calculate the total expenses of 2nd October, use the formula sum is equal to sum B5, B9, B16, B19, B22 in cell B4. Repeat this process for each day of the week. Alternatively, you can drag this formula to the right for all days of the week till cell H4. Okay. So we go to our total daily expenses. We click is equal to sum, open bracket. We click on the cells individually because here we cannot drag since the cells are not continuous that we want to add. Okay. So we click on B5 because you want it added. We click on the comma. Okay. And then we click on the total travel expenses in the same column, put a comma, then again the total academic expenses, put a comma, then on total assets spent, put a comma, and then finally total living expenses, and then we close the bracket. Okay, we press enter and we have the sum taken. Okay, now we can drag this formula in all these cells since these cells are continuous and we want the same formula to be copy pasted. Okay, but for different columns. So what we do is that we hover our cell over this blue circle and then we see the plus sign. We click on it and we drag it till cell H4. Okay. We have the sum for all the days, all the expenses for all the days. Okay. Now we come to step 3. Some formula to calculate the grand total. Go to the total weekly expenses column and use the sum formula to calculate the total weekly expenses planned for each category of expense for the week. In column I4, use is equal to sum B4 to H4 to calculate the grand total of all the weekly expenses. Okay. So drag the formula down to cells I25, which will copy the formula and give the grand total of the weekly expenses of each item. Okay. So now we calculate the grand total of the weekly expenses. Okay. So what we do is that we click on is equal to, then we use sum formula, we open the bracket, We click on the first cell that we want to be added, and then we drag it till the last cell that we want to get added. Then we close the bracket and we press enter. Okay, so this is our grand total. We'll also calculate the total weekly expenses, particular expenses. So for that, we don't have to type the formula individually. What we do is that we just drag this formula till I-25, I believe. Yeah, I-25. Okay. So here we have the total expenses. Like in the week for event tickets, I spent rupees 800 uh, in a week. Okay. And for partying, I spent 1,950 every week. For restaurant, I spent 1,200 every week. Not every week. This is like this week's expense. Okay. So we have it. Now we come to part 4, that is analysis of data. Okay. So exercise 8, get data from other table. So referencing formula to fill cell values. In the table named snapshot of week's budget, go to cell L5. Okay. So in the table named snapshot of week's budget, we go to cell L5. Okay. Total travel expenses, we go to this cell. Okay. Now, and use formula is equal to I5 to get the total planned weekly expense on entertainment. Okay. So this is called referencing formula. Basically, we reference another cell and get the same value that we already have entered in that cell, in that particular cell. Okay. Like suppose here I type is equal to, and then I click on I5, okay, which is this cell, I believe. Yeah, it's I5. Okay, it's I5. Okay, you can see the highlighted rows and columns. So here we do this, and then we click on enter. Okay, you see that the amount which is entered here has been entered here as well. Okay, so yeah, we can use this formula. This is called referencing formula. Okay, so I'll do it once again for you. What we do is that, like, suppose I want total academic expenses here, but I don't want to type it individually, since there are chances of errors. And okay, like there are chances you will have to you'll it'll take you more time to individually type it. Okay, so total travel expenses, total academic expenses, I have it in row 16 and column I. Okay, so I think this is the total academic expenses. All right, so we go to total academic expenses, we click is equal to, and then we click on this cell which is I-16, and then we hit enter. Okay, so you see the amount which was entered in this cell has been entered in this cell as well. Okay, so this is a formula as well, so we can just drag it to copy it. Okay, so we hover ourselves over this, our cursor over this blue circle until we get this plus sign, and then we drag it, okay, till the cell we want the formula copied. Okay, so repeat the above process to get the total planned weekly expense for each of the expense categories mentioned in cell K5 to K8 from the weekly budget for expense table. Okay. Oh, wait just a minute. Okay, I did not, I made a mistake here. See, you cannot drag this formula since you see you have I-16 here. So if you drag the formula, what gives you the figure that you get here is of I-17. So when we click on I-17, we see that it's not the total spent in a set, but it is the total weekly expense spent on books. Okay, we don't want that here, we want this amount. Okay, so you see you cannot drag this formula since the cells that we want in the concurrent cell, in the below cells, is not continuous. Okay, so we have to individually type it, that is get is equal to, and then type on the cell that is I-19, I believe. Yeah, and then press enter. Okay, so we repeat the same process. This is okay, this is the sum. Okay, so I think I made a mistake. Just a second. Total entertainment expenses is 5 I5, right? Yeah, it's I5. Yeah, I made a mistake here. It should have been here. I5. Okay. And then total travel expenses should have been, total travel expenses is I9. Okay, so this, no. Okay, this. Yeah. And then we have this is total academic expenses, right? So we go here, it's I-16, right? Yeah, I-16. And then total spent on asset, it's right, I believe. Total spent on assets is I-19. Okay. And then we have total living expenses, which is this one, right? This is, so we press is equal to, and we press on I-22. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay. Okay. From weekly budget for expenses, so repeat the above process to get the total planned weekly expense for each of the expense categories mentioned in cells K5 to K8 from the weekly budget for expenses table. Okay. So learning exercise, we do absolute referencing. So in the sheet, we are provided the following table in which we have names of players and runs scored by them in cricket match. Our task is to calculate the percentage runs scored by each player in the match with respect to team total in the match. Okay. So I think I don't know why I put this amount. Why I put this column here. Okay, this should be expense as the percentage of total weekly salary. Okay, and salary is this. Okay, okay, okay. So I think this should have been here, right? Yeah. And we adjust the width of the column. By now we know how to do it. Okay. So to calculate expense as a percentage of total weekly salary, what we do is that we click on is equal to, we use percentage formula. Okay, so we already know how to do the percentage formula. We click on the cell, okay, that we want to be taken as a percentage. Then we click on slash and then the total salary, because that will be the base. Okay, we press on enter. Okay, we see that we have it in points. We want it in the percentage for percentage format. So we go to the ribbon. We click on this icon which says format as percentage. We click on it and we have total entertainment expenses as a percentage of salary. Okay. Now, since this is a formula, we can drag it for copying it. So we hover our cursor over this blue circle. We click on it and drag it when we get the plus sign. Okay, why is this value? Oh, okay, okay, we have to use absolute referencing here. Okay, so you know what absolute referencing is? I believe it was taught to you, but let's learn it again. Okay, so for here we'll use mixed referencing. So what we do is that we want the row to remain the same. Okay, the row and the column to remain the same. All right, so what we do is that we put a dollar sign in front of the row that is M, and in front sorry, the column that is M, and in front of the row number which is 2, we again put a dollar sign. Okay, now this is called absolute referencing. So we have fixed this cell. This cell won't move as we move as we drag the formula down. This cell won't budge. Okay, this cell won't move. So we press enter and then we drag this formula down. Okay, so you see now we have a proper percentage with ourselves. Okay, so let's move on to the learning exercise, which is we'll be learning this. Okay, so in the sheet we are provided the following table in which we have names of players and runs scored by them in a cricket match. Our task is to calculate the percentage runs scored by each player in the match with respect to total team total in the match. Okay, so I believe we made this table in the second. No, we're not. We did not. Okay. So match one scored card. Okay, so let's make this table. We get a new sheet. First, we click on this plus sign, which is in the bottom left. We click on it. We get a new sheet. We rename it to learning exercise. Learning exercise. Okay. 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 We press enter. We have a new sheet named as learning exercise. Okay. So now we enter this data manually. So let's do it quickly. First we type the heading, which is match one scorecard. Okay, so we click on match one scorecard. Okay, then we learned how to make the heading, right? So we follow all those steps that we learned in the previous sessions. So what we do is that we see that we want this heading for 3 columns. Okay, so we click on the first column, drag it till the last column, we go to this ribbon, and then we click on this cell, this icon which says merge cells. Okay, we click on it, we see that all the cells are merged. Okay, then we click on the cell again, and then we go to this icon in the ribbon which says horizontal align. We click on it, and then we see that the text is in left alignment now, but we want it centrally aligned. So we click on center and we have it centrally aligned. Okay, we click on this cell again and we want it in bold. So we click on this icon in bold in the ribbon so that we have the text in bold. Okay. Alternatively, you can also press Control B to make the text bold. Okay, that will be a shortcut for you. Okay, then we have name runs code, percentage runs code. Okay, so we type name runs code and we have percentage runs score. Okay, score. Okay. Then we saw that in that table it was in bold, so make it in bold. We select all these cells, we go to the ribbon, we click on this icon called bold. Okay, we have the text in bold. Nice. Then we have Virat, Rohit, Prashant, Rahul, Hardik, and the team total. So let's enter this data quickly from cells B3, I guess, B3 to whatever cells we have. Okay, so we have Virat, Rohit, Prashant. Okay, we have Virat, we have Rohit, we have Prashant. Okay, and then we have Rahul and we have Hardik. Okay, we have Rahul and then we have Hardik. Okay, then we have total team total. Okay, team. Okay, we have team total. Nice. Then the runs code are 50, 40, 60, 45. 50, then we have 40, then we have 60, then we have 45, then it's 70, then it's 70. Then we have the team total. We can just use the sum formula, which is equal to sum, open bracket, click on the first cell that you want to be added and drag it till the last cell that you want to get added, then close the bracket and press enter. Okay, we have the sum here, which is 265, and here it's 265 as well. Okay, then step 1, percentage formula. So, okay, we have already learned that to calculate percentage, we can divide the amount with total amount and then format the cell as percentage. So to calculate Virat's percentage of runs in the match, we in cell C3, we will divide Virat's run in cell B3 by team total in cell B8. Okay. So we'll be learning how to do the percentage formula. We already know it since we did it in the first exercise. Okay. So let's do it again here. So we put is equal to, we put Virat's run score and then we put a slash here and then we click on the total, the team total, that is the total run score, which is 265. Okay. We click on the cell and then we click on enter. Okay, we have it in points, we don't want it in points, we want it as a percentage. So we go to the ribbon, we click on this icon which says format as percentage, we click on it and we have Virat's run as a percentage of the total team total that was scored. Okay, so now format the cell 3 as percentage, repeat this step for all the players. Okay, so we either repeat this step individually for all the players, like suppose for Rohit, Excel is very smart or Google Sheets is very smart. It automatically gives you the formula, but we'll click it manually anyways. So we click on Rohit's runs code, then we hit on slash, and then we hit on the total to the team total. We press enter, then go to the ribbon, and then click on this cell which says format as percentage, and we have it as a percentage. Okay, using absolute referencing. So in the above example, we have to repeat the formula to calculate the percentage for every player. To avoid this, we can use the absolute referencing, okay? We learned this in sheet 1, so we'll be learning it right now as well. Okay, to calculate the Virat's percentage of runs in the match, in cell C3, we write the formula as is equal to B3, and then we have the dollar sign B, dollar sign 8. Okay, to fix this cell, we want to fix the total cell. Okay, in this formula, we want to fix this cell, that is B8. So what we do is that we put a dollar in front of B, a dollar in front of 8. A dollar in front of 8. Okay, then you see the formula in this does not change, the number in this does not change, and when we drag it, you see the cell here is B8 as well. It's being divided by cell B8 here as well, here as well, here as well. Okay, now I'll show you what happens when we don't fix this cell. Okay, like suppose we did not fix this cell and we just kept it as B3 divided by B8. Okay, and we hit enter, and then we drag this formula down. Okay, now you see this cell is invalid because here this is being divided by cell B9, which is empty cell. So we're basically dividing it by 0, which is, not valid. And then here as well, we are dividing it by B10, and here we are dividing it by B11, and here we're dividing it with B12. So you see, here we need to fix the cell if we want to drag it down. Okay, since, in all these cells, we have the same denominator. What we do here is that we fix the cell by absolute referencing. Okay, we put a dollar in front of B, dollar in front of 8, and then we drag it down. Okay, in fact, we drag it till here. Okay, cool. So the dollar sign fixes the cell referenced, which means when formula is dragged to cell B8 will not change. The cell B8 will not change. Drag the formula in C3 down right till cell C8. Okay, you will see that the denominator in the formula remains unchanged as $B $8 in all the cells. We did see that the denominator in all these cells has remained the same just because of this dollar sign. Okay, so all the players' percentage are calculated by a single drag instead of repeating the formula. Okay, now we come to exercise 9, which is the last exercise for the session. So get data from other table. Okay, percentage calculation with absolute referencing. In the table named snapshot of week's budget, under the heading expense amount as percentage of total weekly salary, apply the formula total expense for category is equal divided by total weekly salary and format the resulting value as percentage. Okay, in this as M2 cell salary amount for the week will remain constant. For calculating percentage amount of all the expense categories, we can use absolute referencing for cell M2. Okay, so we've already done this. Do you want me to repeat this process or did you understand it? Ma'am, Coleman, fix. Okay, I do not understand. I'm so sorry. Anil, can you type it again? I do not understand what you're trying to say. ओके आई थिंक तुम ये पूछ रहे हो कि अगर कॉलम फिक्स करें तो इसमें हम लोग ने कॉलम और रो दोनों फिक्स किया, ठीक है। यहाँ पे एम कॉलम के सामने हम लोग ने डॉलर साइन पुट किया है, सो दिस मीन्स दैट द कॉलम इज ऑल्सो फिक्स्ड, बट सिंस यू आर नॉट ड्रैगिंग इट अक्रॉस कॉलम्स यू डोंट नीड इट हियर, ओके। बट एब्सोल्यूट रेफरेंसिंग में वी पुट द डॉलर साइन in front of the column as well as the row. Okay, so here even if you don't put the dollar in front of the m, we can still drag the formula and that will be like the correct answer. Okay, it will be the same. Okay, so if you want the column to remain the same and you're dragging the formula across columns, तुम अगर ये फॉर्मूला n कॉलम में या फिर o कॉलम में ड्रैग करते तब तुमको m के सामने भी ये डॉलर साइन लगाने का जरूरत पड़ता. ओके, अभी सिंस तुम उसी कॉलम में रो से रो को ड्रैग कर रहे हो, you don't really need to put it in front of your column sign. Okay, you don't need to put the dollar sign in front of the column. Okay, I hope it's clear. Okay, please tell me in the chat box if it's clear and we are done with the session. You can share the sheet by following these steps. Okay, to submit your projects, click on Edit Google Sheet in the portal. You have the Edit Google Sheet icon there. The template will open in a new tab. Okay, then you add your project as instructed in the above POW document. You can add this, whatever we did here, as your POW. Then once done, click the submit button in the LMS. Okay, click on this button to submit your project. Okay, once submitted, you won't be able to edit or delete the sheet. So make sure that you submit the sheet only when you are sure. Okay, so I hope you're clear with this. And let's end the session here. From today, we'll be having the session on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week. Okay, so I hope you like this session. And let's end it here. That's all for today. Let's meet again on Wednesday at 11 a.m. again. Okay, bye. Bye, everyone. I'll end the stream now.